Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I'll be covering part 2 to the story I did about 2 days ago, which is titled, Wife Suddenly Quits Her Job to Become a Tradwife, Has Meltdown When I Suddenly Walk Out. And guys, that's the story about the husband and father whose life really is, he's in a bad place now. Definitely needs help. And he's been married, I think, for like a decade, has 2 children who are like 11 and 9, boy and girl. And he thought he had a pretty good marriage and all, and then out of nowhere, his wife, who again is 32, she's not that old, starts dropping all these hints and talking about being a trad wife. Like, you know, she doesn't have to work and she can dress up like June Cleaver and cook and clean and give him endless BJs, that's what she said. And got this idea from TikTok and stupid crap like that. And he's like, no, I need you to work to provide for our family, blah, 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 it can't be all on me. And then out of nowhere, she just quits her job and disrespects him just like that. And he had enough and he walked out. And of course, she has thrown a temper tantrum and a meltdown, all that, even using the kids against him. And eventually he started, figuring out his options about getting a divorce, but comes back because he feels bad for the kids. And actually, you know, she's love bombing him and wanting to hook up with him all the time, but he knew it was genuine. And now, pretty much, he's done with her. But as you can imagine, you know, he loves his kids. Doesn't want to mess that up. Well, now we're on to part 2, where he's had enough with her. And you're going to see in this part, guys, there's always lessons to be learned. And one reoccurring lesson always in these stories is this: is that men have to be strong. And I don't just mean strong with all areas of their lives. They have to be strong, and they can't show weakness with their woman. When women see what they perceive as their man being weak, they lose respect. And when they lose respect, BS happens, okay, in varying degrees. And this guy, a lot of times, lets his wife get away with a bunch of BS, and it continues. Also, the fact as a guy, you have to always control the narrative. When things start going badly with your girlfriend or wife, whatever, you can't just back away and don't talk about it because it's embarrassing. Because then she'll go tell everybody, family, friends, everybody, a bunch of nonsense, and then they've already been conditioned to think that you're the villain here. And it's very hard to change that mindset. So it's so important. You're going to see here, he doesn't do that. So after that long intro starts off, says here, again, I'm beyond grateful for all the love and support you guys have shown me. If I'm being honest here with everyone, I've been drinking a lot to get through this giant mess. I felt like a zombie just wandering through with no purpose. My wife's actions completely broke me. Yeah, because he's like, who the hell is this? This is not the woman I married and raised kids with. Not to mention all the disrespect, and he's just feeling like, yeah. Thankfully, I've managed to cut most of it out over the past week, and that's mostly thanks to Reddit. He means alcohol. Yeah, bro, don't drown yourself in alcohol. That's not going to help the situation. You guys seriously help me keep my mind busy with something else besides alcohol. Being reminded that I have 2 smaller versions of myself looking up to me and learning from the things I do really helped me snap out of it. I've been at my lowest point since making my first post, and I think I've just hit a new low. Bro, this is going to get worse before it got better. We get it, but you have to be strong. Until last week, nothing changed since my last post. My wife still pranced around enjoying her new lifestyle while I suffered in silence. Yeah, that's her prancing around and acting like that is like a giant F you to you. Because she's like, haha, I won, haha. After posting my update, I did realize that my wife 100% was trying to manipulate me into submitting to her demands. Yeah, and guess what? Women don't respect men who submit to their demands. They may say they hate men that act that way, but at the end of the day, they may say they hate men that act all take charge and all that, but guess what? They respect a man who is the leader. I asked her if she actually started looking for a job, and she hesitated and told me no, she needs more time. Bullshit. She has no intention of looking for a job or employment or anything. She wants you to take care of it all. And that's not what you signed up for in your marriage, in your partnership. If I'm being honest here, that is all I need to know from her. I tried making this work, but honest to God, I couldn't keep living like that. Every day that passed felt like a part of my soul vanishing. My wife kept trying to please me, but it didn't seem genuine at all. Well, let her suck your dick a little bit, whatever. Unless he's so disgusted with it, they don't want to be around. Doesn't even want that. Unless she's terrible at giving BJs. I also noticed her starting to get lazy and started to neglect my kids. Oh, what happened to the traditional wife? Isn't she supposed to be taking care of the kids and take care of the house? Shows she's full of crap. Well, I stopped cooking, and after working 9 hours of hell, I now was the one helping my son with his homework, and I'm the one to play Barbie with my daughter. I'm not complaining about spending time with my kids, but I could seriously see this becoming worse as time goes on. I don't know where the woman I once fell in love with went, but that was the thing. But that thing lives with me. It was not her. Well, I think just I speculated this in the other video that I think just over time he stopped being probably the guy that she initially met, who probably took charge and all that, and she just slowly but surely wore him down and lost respect for him. Not that she isn't an a-hole, she is, but this guy, guarantee if you looked at the situation, there were things he was doing wrong. But also, you remember, guys, how he made it clear that his wife and kids was his whole world. And I got no problem with the kid part being so much of your world, but you can't put all your eggs in one basket for happiness. But his wife? No. Guys, you all know, if you watch me long enough, what happens when a guy tries to make his whole world, the whole sun rising and setting with his wife. Because those guys are usually ass kissers. And women don't respect ass kissers. You got to have your hobbies, your interests, your bros, a purpose. But these guys make their wife and their kids their purpose, and that's a terrible idea. It is what it is, gentlemen. After I put my kids to sleep... Oh, hang on a second. Skipped a very important part. I know a lot of you are going to smile hearing this, but I did tell my wife that I wanted a divorce last week. Good, my friend. I came home from work and I saw my wife sitting on the couch watching TV while my daughter was crying in her room. I just snapped at that moment. I told her we need to have a serious discussion after the kids go to sleep. She's there watching fucking TV, watching probably some dumbass reality show, probably watching TikTok while watching a dumbass reality show, and there's your daughter in the room crying, her ignoring her. After I put the kids to sleep, I sat her down and told her our marriage is over and that I'll be contacting my lawyer tomorrow. Well, good for you, bro, except the only difference is I would have contacted the lawyer anyway and had everything planned out and then surprised her. Divorce was never something I ever planned on doing in my life, but I just felt like something needed to change, or my kids would be visiting my gravesite in a few years. So this guy's obviously tried. He's worn down. He's sick and tired of this crap. She's not changing. He's done. And you can't blame him. Now listen to this. He says, our culture frowns upon it, divorce, and I knew I was going to get serious backlash for it, but at this point, I couldn't care less. You need to reach that point, gentlemen. All of you guys need to reach a point that you couldn't care less what anybody else thinks. Your family, your friends, your culture, your religion, all that. Because when you are essentially a slave to everybody else's wants and demands. You got to take care of yourself. And this doesn't mean you got to be an a-hole to loved ones, but you got to take care of yourself here. And of course, you need to also be cool being alone. I don't know why, but she thought I was joking and started laughing. Yeah, because she wasn't taking you seriously. I mean, that's just what I'm reading from the situation, man. I told her I was being serious for this time, and her manipulation methods weren't going to work on me anymore, and her face just went pale. She then went from screaming at me to crying to then blaming me for every issue in the family to then begging for another chance. She's going on full-on Tuscan Raider on you. Yeah, everything that happened is your fault. Of course it is. She literally went to get her laptop out and tried to apply for jobs on Indeed while begging. Isn't it interesting what happens when a woman realizes, uh-oh, he means business here? Boom, 180. I just told her to cut the bullshit. I told her I tried my best, but she kept giving me empty promises. I told her the following. Number one, I know her trying to F me was just a manipulation tactic and not to show her devotion to me, as she puts it. 2, if she truly was sorry, why didn't she start applying for jobs immediately instead of waiting until I confronted her? Because she believed they basically didn't mean business, that you're talking out of your butt. Her completely disregarding any of my feelings and needs while purely pursuing her own shows me how selfish she actually is. She doesn't have my health issues and still chose to completely F me over because she doesn't care. 4, and now this part pissed me off a lot, her poisoning my son against me while this all started was beyond effed up, and looking back was enough of a reason to divorce her. Yeah, when he left initially, she freaking gave the son a whole bunch of BS and manipulated the son saying dad's not coming back and all that. It is disgusting when these people, and usually wives do this, manipulate the kids against the husband to get even with them and hurt the children. 5. So we end up fighting for another hour or so, and her constant screaming ended up waking up our daughter, and that's when I told my wife to shut the fuck up and go to bed. Sounds like you should have been doing that a long time ago, my man. The following day, my mom called me during work and asked if I lost my mind or something. My wife told my mom that I was going to divorce her. And this is what I'm talking about. You got to control the narrative. So she got ahead of you and told your mom and probably your dad and the mailman and everybody else, and now you're the bad guy. Now let's remember, guys, about men being strong and not behaving weak. Now, he obviously behaved weak in front of his wife for a long time. Now this guy has to be strong around his mother because she is a woman regardless. She claimed that I was bringing serious shame on the family, and she didn't raise me to abandon my kids. Mom, don't talk to me that way. I'm a grown-ass freaking man and father, and I'm not abandoning my kids. You need to listen to what I have to say, not my a-hole wife. And you're going to be on my side, otherwise you ain't going to see the grandkids. Yet my wife told my mom that I was planning on abandoning my kids and has been feeding my kids the same BS. She is awful. Control the narrative, guys. I explained to my mom the reasons why I wanted a divorce, but she won't budge. If I divorce my wife, I'm a disgrace of a man. My mom wants nothing to do with me. Okay, call her bluff. Okay, Mom, fine. You can choose now. You're either on my side, your son, or an a-hole wife. And I don't want to hear about disgrace to the family. I'm not living in this misery anymore. Period. And if you and the family and everybody else in our culture and religion doesn't like me, kiss my ass. That's what you gotta say. It's unfortunate you gotta be tough like this, guys, but you gotta be even with your mama. I know my mom well enough to know that her words are just empty threats, but what hurts me are the reactions of my kids. My son won't look me in the eyes and won't even let me anywhere near his room. And my daughter just tries to hit me whenever I try to talk to her. That is unacceptable. Your daughter can be upset, but she can't hit you. So you need to lay down the law immediately. And your son is going to let you in the room because you own that house and that room is yours. You pay the mortgage, not your son. And she's obviously manipulating them and filling their heads full of a bunch of crap, but you need to reassure your children that mama's lying to you. But now I need to follow the advice of the lawyer because I think obviously, you could probably get the kids out of there if you wanted to, but it's a mess. I try to explain to them, in fact, I'm not going to give up on them, and me and their mom are just going to separate, but they always seem to believe whatever BS my wife tells them. Friends and in-laws also claim that I'm a monster for making my wife go through this. Yeah, friends and in-laws that she controlled the narrative. You need to control it, my friend. My wife was served with divorce papers 2 days ago and has been crying nonstop since. Yeah, she's pulling the whole woe is me song and dance. My wife told my kids about the divorce papers, and they both claim they will never talk to me again, and in my son's words, I'm a bad husband and father. I cried myself to sleep that night. Well, bro, I can see everything seems to be caving in on you, and I'm sorry. And it's okay if you want to cry, let out the emotions privately, but around your kids, you got to be stoic. And you got to make sure your son knows darn well he's 11 years old. You're not going to talk to me that way, son. End of fucking story. There's going to be consequences. All right? I thought divorce would bring me peace, but it's only brought me one step closer to taking my life. As I stated in my previous post, I have nothing and I'm nothing without my kids. Bro, you are something and you're a good man, but you cannot let this crush you. Talk to your lawyer, find out your options, and you need to show strength and stoicism in front of your kids. All right? Growing up dead poor as a refugee in Germany, I promised myself that I would give my kids a life that I myself could have only dreamed of, but I feel like I've failed. You've not failed. You've been given them a great life. It's your wife that caused all this crap. She needs to go. And yeah, there's going to be suffering right now, but you got to stay strong. You need to outwit and outlast the CUNT. I'm sorry for making this post longer than it should be. Again, I just want to thank everyone for the love and support, but this will probably be my last post. Wishing you all a lovely week. Well, bro, we have your back, and I'm sorry this is happening to you, but you got to be strong. Yes, clearly, I can see through the lines here. You made mistakes, obviously, in your marriage. She obviously knew that she could treat you this way, because women that respect and love their husbands don't pull this type of crap. They do it in husbands that they think are pushovers. So she obviously has that impression for a reason. But you got to stay strong. Listen to your lawyer. Find out your options. And anybody that's not with you, essentially, I'd cut them off, especially at least in the short term. And make it clear to your mama and your dad and your aunts and uncles and grandmas, anybody else that's giving you shit, fine. You have nothing to do with me? Then fine. It goes both ways. And you ain't going to see the kids. Ha ha ha. And don't take it if the kids are being disrespectful. Do not tolerate that. You can understand that wife's manipulating them, but you can't take their disrespect. And so I wish you the best. I do hope for an update. So guys, like I said, about the whole thing about strength and also controlling the narrative. Now real quick, some comments before I wrap this up. A lot of nice people in the comment section trying to help this guy. One guy says here, I went through something similar, and I know that the words seem hollow when I say them, but it does get better, my friend. I seriously promise you this. The words your kids are using were just fed to them by your former wife, like a movie script. There will be a day when they realize how strong and devoted you are to them. Please just keep living your life knowing that eventually there will be happier times and more peace in your life. You are doing the best you can. Keep going through it. It will be enough. Take care, my friend, and you deserve happiness, and we all support you. That's nice. And one more. This guy says, buckle down, my friend, because you're about to enter the fight of your life, but it can be worth it. Number 1, and this is good, go for full custody. Since your wife's a Tradwife, BS is relatively new, it can't be argued that the kids are used to her being home and therefore would benefit from continuing established routines. And as such, she has no job, no income, and no desire to work, which makes you the more financially stable parent. Number 2, get your lawyer to warn your ex about parental alienation, which can cost your custody as well, because that's what she's doing. 3, get your kids into therapy, both independent, by themselves, and with you. Reiterate over and over that you love them and you're never leaving them. Warn your daughter that hitting will not be tolerated and she knows better. Exactly. That you will listen to her scream at you, how she feels, and you will never hold against her, and you will always love her no matter what she says. That her feelings are valid, but purposely hurting someone is not the way. Well, I wouldn't. She can open up, but screaming at him with disrespect, I disagree with that. 4, tell your mom if she chooses to cut you off over this, so be it. It goes both ways. Once she disowns you, she no longer has a son or grandchildren, and it cannot be walked back. Exactly. Got to show strength. Good luck. It's a long, bumpy road, but chin up, bottle down, and you can do this. So that's great. The whole comment section is full of great support for this guy, so I wish him the best. So guys, lots that can be learned from this story, and I'll keep an eye out for any updates for anything he has to say. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.